There was no way, Suits, back in 1989 when the Yellow Pages and the phone book came out in Regina that your number was listed.
It was.
What?
Oh, yeah. All against David Williams in that game against BC. Every time I think that I've finally forgotten it and blocked it out of my mind, something comes up where it comes back and sneaks in. But yeah, when I had that pass interference call and Matt Dunnigan scored 2 touchdowns with, I don't know, no time left on the clock. And we lost the game that almost put us out of the playoffs. And my pass interference call, which was blatantly bad, long story behind it, I won't bore you, but that penalty, I had a listed number. And whoo, there was some calls I couldn't even repeat. And, you know, it's at the time, my wife answered a lot. I had at one point, I just said, I can't do this anymore. And she was answering and just saying, oh, just, you know, whatever, and hung up on him. But it was a bit of a challenge. And yeah, no, that was a mistake. It was a private number after that.
You were probably one of the first people that had a Maestro phone where it came up with the name, who was calling, and number. Some sort of deal with SaskTel back in the day, because I'm shocked that you had your number listed. That's crazy. The Riders absolutely rolling.
Yes,
they're buzzing. Is there a better time to go into a bye week than hammering Montreal in Montreal? Like, I'm sure the fellas let their hair down after that one.
Well, yeah, and a lot of the guys may have booked flights home. Mm-hmm. Those in the East flying out of Montreal go straight home, take some time with the family, and then get back to Regina. But yeah, you know, it's a double-edged sword in some ways. I mean, on one hand, 7-1, you're rolling. You go into Montreal, you beat a very good team. As my partner Dustin said, it probably changes the Grey Cup odds and favorites. That win in Montreal, and you know, I'm not putting those teams in the Grey Cup just yet, but you know, they are favorites based on the first third of the season. So, you know, they went in and handled them. I won't say easy. I hate using that word because it's never easy, but they're on a roll, as you mentioned, Barney. And when I look at the play of Trevor Harris, and in our post wrap up, I get a chance to correct myself. I took 2 years off his age. I called him 37. He's actually 39. And to see the level of expertise he's bringing here's what I hope we don't do, and I hope the fans don't do it. Certainly the other players and coaches in the league. I hope we don't take for granted excellence, because it's really hard to win at any level. You guys know that. I mean, hockey, flag football, whatever. It is really hard to win. And when you do get on a roll and you are playing excellent in all the phases of the game, different guys are stepping up at different times. Defense wins one night. Dante Myers wins another. Keyshawn Johnson is a big game in one. Sam Emelis, you know, they're finding different ways and different people to win. Let's not take excellence for granted, because they are playing great.
Glenn, one of the things I said to Barney right off the top of the show, a lot of us were confident that the Riders could go in. They play a good game. We can win. I had to check after the game. I don't think anybody had a blowout. Nobody had definitely a 28-point cushion or anything like that. Montreal has some injuries. We have some injuries. They were obviously on their second-string quarterback. What was it in person that you saw? Because, I mean, it's not like Montreal had all backups playing or whatever, but it just seemed like the Montreal defense just couldn't get to Harris. They just could not get any pressure at any of the key times.
Yeah, you know, I think that was the I won't call it a surprise because they're playing great, but I would say the dominance by which the offense took care of a defense that gives all kinds of people, the best quarterbacks, the veteran quarterbacks in the league, that defense gives them problems at times. I mean, there's so many different looks. They drop defensive linemen. They rush defensive backs. You can't. It's difficult to count them up front. You're not sure which guys are coming and which aren't, and so the offensive line can easily be confused. Even veteran O-lines. And that's how they are so dominant. They take the ball away at a high level, and that's why they're dominant. And, Trevor Harris had the answer no matter what they tried. And they tried some different things. They tried full blitz. Harris got the ball off with the hot reads and the blitz beaters. And then they tried to drop 9 on that touchdown in the corner. I think it was, who was it that caught it in the corner? Was it Keyshawn Johnson or was it
Johnson? Yeah,
Keyshawn, I think. Keyshawn caught that one. That was 9 droppers. So nine people drop, 2 safeties on top. So that clogs up the middle. That's dangerous throw in the middle. And Trevor Harris not only has the time, but he has the wherewithal to recognize the defense immediately and know that his safest throw is the outside shoulder to Keyshawn Johnson in the corner of the end zone. If he doesn't get that, then it goes incomplete, no big deal, they kick a field goal. But he puts it right where only Keyshawn Johnson had a chance at it. I think that play was maybe the best example of just the level of excellence that Trevor's playing at right now.
What if there's one thing that you think the Riders need to maybe button up a bit post Labor Day here, what would that be?
That's a great one. One would be, let's fill the stadium other than just Labor Day. I love that they're filling it. let's fill the stadium for the Hamilton game too. That's home field and enjoy this fantastic football team.
Are you coming in for that one, by the way?
I'm not. Okay. I'll be there for the Labor Day matchup though. I will be. So I'm really looking forward to that. But let's, what could they fix? I think their defensive line, I made the mention on the air that, and I sort of phrased it in the form of a question. Is this the best D-line collectively in the league? And I think it is right now. I think it is. CJ Rivas, I just checked some PFF stats, and CJ Rivas is one of the top defenders in the league. He's been targeted. He's 3rd in targets, but he's only given up 1 first down when his area or his man has been targeted. So CJ Rivas is playing off the hook great. You saw the interception from Thurman, and their secondary is intact. I'm not sure, Mario Alford getting him back, that brings another threat to the table. And, okay, here's one, Barney. Tighten up the penalties. Let's get back to real consistent 5, maybe 6 penalties per game. They didn't have a problem with it in Montreal, and I think they had about 60 yards in penalties, which you can live with. The problem is when you get to like 120 yards, that's the problem, and that can cost you a game. So if there's anything that they can, it's that discipline. It's buckling up, making sure that you're playing with great concentration from start to finish when it comes to, lazy penalties.
Okay, here's another one for you right now, because we're in a bye week. We get to do this again on Thursday. If there was a team right now, if everyone had their healthy quarterback too, preface it with that.
Yeah.
Who would pose the biggest threat to the Riders?
Calgary right now, I would think, or Hamilton. Calgary in the West, Hamilton in the East. The way Bo's playing, Bo and Trevor, that's that's a pick 'em, because Bo is on top of his game, as good as I've seen him ever in his career. So there's that. But I think the Riders have slightly better defense than Hamilton. So when you add it all up, there's an edge there for the Riders. Calgary beat them. So with Calgary, with their healthy, receivers and Vernon Adams, that might be the biggest challenge right now.
A couple of things.
We would have automatically said Winnipeg for the last 4 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not this year.
watching the game Saturday, Suits, when it was out of hand, there was a couple of things. I thought, this is a good night for Brett Lothar. There is absolutely no pressure on him to try and build some of his confidence back. And I know you talked about how his kick percentage was going up because but it was good. We didn't need him. There was no pressure there because you're going to need him. You're going to need your pressure kick guy. So that was kind of nice where he was part of the game, but he wasn't. He was part of the game, but he wasn't a factor. Nice. There's 7 minutes left in the game and it's 31-6. My only question was, why is Trevor Harris still playing? I don't care, put anybody in there. Get him out of there because is that an acronym? My THSH of Trevor Harris stays healthy. That's our key to success this year. Yeah. In a garbage time where a guy's not afraid to take a 15-yard penalty at that time, or if something crazy happens or a fluke football play, that was my only, because now we're Rider fans, we're never going to lose again. We have to complain about when we win. That was my complaint. Why is he in there with 7 minutes left and the game's a blowout?
It's funny you phrase it that way, that we have to find something. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Honestly, I'm always shaking my head. I understand that 2 possessions, so basically 16 points. So if you have a 16-point lead, you can tie that game and extend it in 2 possessions. Now, it means you need to score twice and get the 2-point converts twice. So that's tough to do. But in 2 possessions, you can come back and win. So or tie the game and extend it and then win in overtime. So, I think as long as it's 2 possessions, then I understand leaving your starter in there. But if you get to 3 possessions and you start doing the math at around 7 or 8 minutes, I know you can get the turnovers and things like that, but I think the risk-reward equation and discussion, the risk is way too high, and it's too punitive if you lose your guy when you've got a 3-score lead because he follows through on a throw and hits his thumb on a helmet or something. And, it could be as silly as that because that happens every now and then. I'm taking him out. I would have taken him out earlier than they did. I think in some ways, Maz, it's probably respect for the opponent. Like you're saying, this is a good defense. Things can turn quickly.
No. You got to take them out. You got to take them out. And you got to have confidence in the other guys that they can kind of keep the ship going.
No question, Barney.
It's not like we're putting in a guy in jeans that was in the parking lot smoking and tailgating. You're putting in capable players.
What kind of cigarettes? How much did he drink?
Yes, no, you are. And that's the point. Everybody is contributing. And that's what I really like about this team. This team is a great team. And they're taking different guys take their turns stepping up and being the guy in different games. They've won with pick sixes. They won with the big sack game against Edmonton. They won with Myers having a big game, Emelis and Keyshawn having a big game. I mean, the run game has been big in a couple of their wins. So it's different guys in different phases and different sides of the ball in every single week, which is a great sign because it means you're a solid team that believe in each other. So that also should extend to the backups. The Jake Mayer started a game and won. Now, it wasn't massive stats, but he did what he needed to. And in that game, A.J. Ouellette has over 100 yards rushing. So play calling probably helped in that regard. And I just think, listen, guys, I'm trying to make an argument for what a coach might think, but I'm with you. I'm 100% at around the 7-minute mark with a 3-score lead, 3-possession lead. Get your starter out of there. They're too valuable.
If I was coaching too, I can't do this in flag football, but if I was coaching at that level, even high school, if I go back to coaching high school again, I would run everything to as far to the outside as possible, because the other thing that freaked me out in that game was when we were running the ball and our offensive linemen were up pushing, and when guys get hit sideways into a knee and all of a sudden I'm paranoid. I get that. But you know what I mean? Just keep everything to the outside and then run out of bounds. Don't take a hit.
Well, running out of bounds will stop the clock. So you get right
slide
to the
before the
get right to the sideline and then give yourself up kind of thing. But I think you can't protect all the guys up front and things like that, but you can protect the quarterback. You really do. You really can. And I like your point, Barney, on you need to rely on the backup quarterback anyway. So you're not saying we're throwing in Joe Average. We brought Jake Mayer in for a reason, and we expect him to continue to run the offense and to finish this game off. Maybe put another touchdown on the board, and make it a 4-possession game. So you should believe in that and not worry about putting him in the game.
Suits, on the weekend, I had a chance to talk with Darian. We had a nice conversation, and I had said to him, I said, Willie Jefferson is the reason that the Winnipeg Blue Bombers beat the Toronto Argonauts, because in the second half, Willie Jefferson took over that football game. And I know you didn't call that, but you probably watched it. That's where, as much as hey, Winnipeg, they're a little down or whatever, there's a reminder that one guy can affect the outcome of a football game, because without Willie J, Toronto makes a comeback and wins. What a performance.
Did it not look like, sorry to interrupt, did it not look like if you've ever played football with your uncles back in the day and you were a kid and you were trying to pass the ball and they just swatted it down?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's this oak tree standing in front of you, and you have to try and throw it around him. And it's not just his size and reach. He has found a knack to do this. I mean, this is a skill set that not many guys have, to know when and the timing. And here's the other thing, from a schematic point of view, their coaching staff will often, on passing downs, stunt Willie Jefferson into the B gap between the guard and the tackle. That's the B gap on either side, strong and weak. And if he's going through the B gap, that is often the hot lane for the passer. So, when he takes his outside defensive end rush, he can be high, and that takes him away from being able to block some passes down. But they put him back into the interior of the D-line on that stunt. He is right in the throwing lane. So they do that on purpose. That's the reason they put him in there, because he has the great reach and that outstanding timing. So, I think offenses need to game plan away from him or run it at him. If you're going to run the ball, run at Willie Jefferson and make him a run stopper. And then when you're throwing the ball, half roll away from him so he's behind you. I mean, I think you have to game plan against them. And there's not many guys in pro football that you have one player that you actually have to game plan against.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, well, we get to talk. What games are you doing this week?
I just have the Calgary-Winnipeg game, so I'm looking at those numbers now. And, hey, I caught a little bit of your discussion, you guys, at the beginning. I wasn't sure where to go with it all, but I will tell you –
no one does.
I will tell you that Belize has maybe the second best scuba diving and snorkeling outside of the Grand Caymans. And, as you know, the Grand Caymans is an area that I'm familiar with. Mm-hmm. And the diving there is probably top 3 in the world. Belize is right up there. It might be ahead of Cayman as far as scuba diving, snorkeling, and all of those things with the dolphins and turtles and whatever. So it is. I'm not trying to sell.
Well, I was going to say, he's your co-worker. I appreciate your hustle as well. Stepping up for your boy Dave Naylor, try and rent his place. Have you ever rented his place, by the way? What kind of deal do you get? What kind of friends and family deal are we talking about?
I haven't ever done it. In fact, I did see that on social media, and I thought, I love Belize. I wonder if I can get a little bit of a, co-worker discount here.
Yeah.
Maybe we do the show live from Belize and do a little scuba dive, a little shark diving out there in Belize. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll be able to go to that. All right. Hey, in the next few days, Glenn, you got to, if you're not on, I can't remember if you're on Twitter or not. We need some sort of buy and sell from you on there. You got to one up. Rent out, like Maz said, rent out a basement suite or something for the week.
Great scuba diving. And by the way, the other part of your early discussion, my father used to say this to me if I was messing around the back of the car or whatever. This is what my father used to say: "You got to promise when we get home." And if I heard that phrase, the belt was coming out.
Oh,
the belt was. I knew it. And you just sit in the back, and your imagination runs wild as to how bad this is going to be. And you get home, and yep, you got the belt across the backside. You got to promise. That was the word. I was like.
See, Suits, the way it is nowadays, when the kids get in trouble, somehow ultimately I end up getting in trouble for their behavior too from my wife, that somehow I could have nothing to do with it, but have everything to do with it.
Here.
Always.
Here.
Always.
Hey, use your Maz, use your words. We're talking about feelings now. Use your words, and let's discuss this from the beginning. And
OJ, I'm guilty.
1 hour without video games. 1 hour. That's it.
We got to stop this because we could go till 8:00 tonight if we're going down this train. Okay, Suits, talk to you Thursday.
I go to the liquor store and buy her Prosecco, and that doesn't even help. Like, come on. Talk about here.
End is near. Talk to you Thursday, Glenn.
Okay, thanks, guys.